manifestation, I'm all about it. Positive thinking, positive energy, and mantras, meditation, all of these things I believe in. I'm all for them. Hey, crystal energy work, yes, bring all of that positivity to me. Okay, but here's the caveat. Here's the tough talks with Mike. If things still aren't working, and you're doing all those things, you've had some sort of awakening and dark night of the soul, and things have fallen apart, and you're rebuilding, and you're on your manifestation journey and healing and all the other stuff, and you're putting all this positive energy toward it, and like seeing you're feeling better and things aren't moving, let me help you. Okay, because part of the change is that, as I've said before, like, you might be being tested, and not in a bad way, but just like, hey, if the world outside hasn't changed, am I still able to change inside and then reflect that out to the world? Sometimes it takes a little time for the reality to catch up. But here's the other thing. If things aren't really moving and working, and you think that you've done all these things, it's you. Okay, you are probably the problem. Sorry, but here's why. Because the chances are that deep in your psyche, the recesses of your subconscious, you have committed yourself to this lower, vibrational version of you, this small version of yourself. And even though you have worked at breaking out of that, there's still work to do. You've committed yourself to that like ages ago. And now it's time to commit to change. We have to commit to the change and take practical steps along the manifestation journey. That's how we're going to create it, and we work in tandem with the energy. That's how it goes. Follow your bliss, follow your excitement as it leads you on the road to where it is that you want to go. But you still are putting one foot in front of the other as you're doing it. And what does that really look like when you're at base level and you're like, ugh, I'm so tired and I'm so like done with this? How do you commit to that change? Well, you have to identify certain factors, and it's actually pretty easy. Okay, and this is stuff that I work on with all of my coaching clients. Okay, what you want to do is see the life that you truly want. What are those dreams that you are trying to manifest into reality? Okay, you need to really envision them and hold them, and figure out the minutia, right? And then you can even write it down, writing down these things, and write them down in the present tense. But then write down, like, I live in my dream house with the love of my life, and my children are happy, and I'm able to provide all these things, and we have gardens for days, and a stream to swim and play in, and we have animals, and we have lots of friends, and family over, and whatever it is, or whatever it is that you love. I always have enough, I have a creative space and all this other, whatever it is, you deck it out and write it down as if you have it. You have to do it in the present tense. Get rid of all the future language. You don't want it because you already have it. Okay, and write it down and put it aside. And then be real honest with yourself. This is the part. You got to be real honest with yourself on where you're at and where you've settled in your life at this point. To go, if that's the life I'm living, what is it that is not in alignment with that and how I've been living my life? And be brutal with yourself. Be brutally honest with yourself. No one's going to see it but you. Like, don't blow smoke up your butt, like, that everything that you do is completely virtuous and for the best and highest good. Of course it is. Yes, of course. And your intention might be that way. But, nevertheless, like, what kind of habits and routines are keeping you stuck? Like, because that's where you're stuck, and there's part of you that's committed to some sort of materialism that's keeping you stuck. And it doesn't have to be like just possessions, like materialism like that, like, or money. Like, it could be a habit, it could be an addiction, like smoking weed or drinking or sex. You're addicted to like something like that. Or like, it could just be like an egoic thing, where like you won't admit to yourself something, or you're harboring some resentment that needs to be let go of. There can often be like things that we have, relationships that we need to let go of because they're not coming with, they're not coming with us on the journey. And that can be painful, but nevertheless, like, it might have to be done. Write that list down of all the things in the way, like, I feel out of shape. I feel, I'm not eating right, like, write all that stuff down. And then when you're honest and you have that list and you see how it is in discord with the life that you wish to attain, then take that list of, we'll call them, for lack of a better term, like the negative traits, and write another list. I know, so many lists, right? Write another list and turn all of those things into positives. Turn it around. I have a daily meditation practice. I have a daily workout routine. I eat like this. I commit myself to this, in order to live a healthier life. Or, I get a full 8 hours sleep every night. Like, whatever those things are, write them down in the positive form. And that's the list that you commit to, and take it day by day, moment to moment. Let the other, fold up the other list of the dream life and put it aside. You've had it, and then you release it to the universe. The daily list, you just tick that off every day, and you set the standards for yourself to live in that way every day. Okay, it's more than just the goal at the end. It's the daily standard of living. And don't push yourself too hard, just one at a time, and just keep adding them. Like, this is a simple way to do it. I work with this it's a little bit of a, it's similar, way with my clients, but it's more personalized. And then move yourself toward the goal that you ultimately want, that you're ultimately going to, while you're having your positive energy. And watch how not only does your life transform, but you start to feel better, because you're going to feel better about yourself in the long run. So give it a shot. I hope that helps. If you're looking for, a little help along your path, personalized help, you'd like to work with a coach or see what that's like, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you about it, to see if it's a good fit, to try and help you live the life of your dreams. Like, I'm committed in my life to helping other people live their best lives, like, as well as my own. I've been through these things. I understand. And it's a constant up cycle. We're always doing it on some level. So you're not alone at any point. Anyone that tells you otherwise is, is misleading you. We're all on our path. We're all on our journey. And I'm here to be of service. I hope that helps. Reach out to me here. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.